Sir Commander Urage of the United Senate Navy motioned for the sensory officer to remain silent. "I can see it as well as you," he said. "Ensign, prepare for engagement." The humans were waiting for them. The attack on the Alliance lines was supposed to be a stealth operation. The Gamora system was chosen for its strategic location and abundance of natural resources. Yet the humans had anticipated the move. The human flagship. "There's a communication coming from the human flagship, sir. What do I do?" The sensory officer was visibly anxious. Urage's detachment consisted of the battleship Blade of Syriana, his flagship, 5 cruisers, and 23 frigates. They had sailed with the blessing of the three-faced god, ready to strike. But the humans were prepared and outnumbered them. The human leader. The screen flickered to life, displaying a human in power armor, styled in an arcane, outlandish way. "Hello, Senate scum. Welcome to Phanis." "You're late," the human sneered. Jarl Olaf, the human leader, had been prepared. The Free State of Gamora, a member of the Sol Alliance, had retained an autonomous regime and benefited from the central government's trade and weapons. Reinforcements were plentiful. The ambush. "The humans are outnumbering us," Urage thought, but he did not voice his concerns. The humans had been waiting. They were ready. "Open the channel," Urage commanded. The human leader continued. "The intelligence network had known about your attack for weeks. We were prepared." The first strike. "Fire," Olaf ordered. A massive tungsten alloy slug left the rail gun, too fast for traditional sensors to track. It hit 3 cruisers, reducing them to debris and causing further damage among the frigate formation. Olaf watched with pleasure as the battle began. He had been classified too volatile by the Terran Command, but was ready to crush the alien invaders. Boarding action. "Sir, human boarding vessels incoming," the second-in-command reported. Urage expected this. They had studied human warfare tactics during their war against the PHA. Humans favored boarding actions to capture ships. But this time, they had a surprise for the humans. "All hands to battle stations. Activate all point defense turrets and get the anti-human systems online." The defense. The ship's corridors were equipped with turrets and mechanical sentinels to deal with boarders. Laser turrets created a kill zone of plasma and death. "The first boarders have reached the vessel, sir," the helmsman reported. "What about the point defense turrets?" Urage asked. "Fully operational, sir, but the humans aren't slowing down." Olaf's entry. Olaf's boarding pod had been hit, but he managed to land on the enemy vessel. Axe in one hand, slag gun in the other, he began his assault. "Welcome to the Gamar system, mothers," he announced through his loudspeaker. Hakill, a lizard soldier, witnessed the humans' ferocity. The humans' speed and brutality were unmatched. The carnage. Olaf tore through the heavily armored soldiers and machines with ease, his weapon sparking with electrical currents. Hakill, despite his experience in battles against other species, had never seen such violence. The human was a monster. "They're retreating," someone shouted. But Olaf was relentless. The chase. Hakill fled to the elevator, hoping to escape. But Olaf followed, his axe shearing through the doors. "Here's Johnny." Olaf laughed maniacally. The humans' ferocity was terrifying. "We need to contain the humans on Deck 5. Subsection C, Urage ordered. But it was too late. The ship was falling apart under the human assault. The counterattack. Engineering sabotage. "Sir, the connectors to the engine were severed," an officer reported. "There are humans in Deck 12B. Urage felt fear for the first time. "Put the anti-human sentinels on separate systems and keep them online," he ordered. But Olaf was already causing chaos. He ripped out important cables, disabling the ship's controls. The search for the bridge. Olaf continued his murderous stroll, looking for the bridge. He encountered minimal resistance, only engineers and personnel who were no match for him. Finally, he found an elevator. Inside were more enemies. "You dare ignore me?" Olaf roared. charging at them. The bridge assault. The elevator doors opened into a large room with two massive robots. Finally, a worthy challenge. Olaf smiled. The robots fired, but Olaf was relentless. The battle raged until the bridge doors buckled inward. Fight to the last man. Ured shouted. The final confrontation. Olaf crashed through the doors, his wild face showing nothing but rage. This is Jarl Olaf of the 13th Berserker Regiment. The bridge has been captured. Come on up, boys, he announced. He looked down at his missing arm. Oh, and I might need a medic. I need a new arm. The war room. Chancellor Iregi of the Gaedun watched the footage in the war room. The humans were monsters. They had decimated the Senate forces. We need to prepare our fleets for a counterattack, Iregi declared. The Senate war room erupted in cheers, but Iregi remained silent. He knew the true cost of this war. The Alliance's response. Angron, a demi-ocean High Lord, read the reports from Gamora. The Senate had struck, but the Alliance was ready. Time to counterattack, he decided. The Alliance casualties were in the hundreds, but the Senate's losses were near 1 million. The strategic move. Angron prepared the Alliance's next move. We need to strike while the Senate is reeling, he told his advisors. The demi-oceans had a plan to exploit the Senate's weaknesses. We must move quickly and decisively, Angron emphasized. The human spirit. Meanwhile, Olaf was recovering. Despite his injuries, his spirit was unbroken. After we win this war, I want a rematch, he told Angron. The demi-ocean smiled. After we win the war, he agreed. Preparing for battle. Captain Powell of the Rolling Thunder missile frigate received his orders. We're joining Operation Apex Predator. Prepare for launch, he commanded. The Alliance fleet was mobilizing for a massive counterattack. The battle ahead would be fierce, but Powell was ready. The Galactic Senate's decision. The Galatian Chancellor called for a vote to send the 1st through 3rd Armada to the fortress world of Hale. Iregi opposed, suggesting the 5th and 8th Armadas instead. The War Council agreed, and the decision was made. The battle for Hale would be a crucial turning point in the war. The unexpected allies. A new plan. Angron stood before the War Council. We must prepare for the unexpected. The Senate is not our only enemy. There are factions within the galaxy that may seize this opportunity to strike. His words were met with murmurs of agreement. The Alliance needed to strengthen its defenses and secure new allies. Contacting the Resistance, Olaf, now equipped with a new mechanical arm, led a mission to contact potential allies. The Resistance, a group of rebel species opposing the Senate's tyranny, was their best hope. We need their support, Olaf told his team. Without them, our chances are slim. The rebel base. The team arrived at the rebel base, hidden on a remote moon. The Resistance leader, Zorak, greeted them. We have been waiting for this moment, Zorak said. The Senate's arrogance will be their downfall. We will join you in this fight. United front. With the Resistance on their side, the Alliance's strength grew. They coordinated their efforts, sharing intelligence and resources. This is our chance to strike a decisive blow, Angron declared. We will attack their supply lines and weaken their forces. The first strike. The combined forces launched a surprise attack on a Senate supply convoy. The battle was fierce, but the element of surprise was on their side. Target their command ship, Olaf ordered. The convoy was destroyed, and the Senate supply lines were disrupted. A new threat. As they celebrated their victory, a new threat emerged. Reports came in of a Senate fleet advancing towards an Alliance stronghold. We must prepare for their counterattack, Angron warned. The war was far from over. The defense of Phoenix. The Alliance fortified their defenses on Phoenix, the strategic stronghold. This will be our last stand, Olaf said. We cannot let them take this planet. The soldiers braced for the impending battle, ready to defend their home. The battle begins. The Senate fleet arrived, and the battle for Phoenix began. Explosions rocked the planet as ships clashed in the skies. "Hold the line," Olaf shouted. The Alliance fought with everything they had, determined to protect their stronghold. A desperate gamble. As the battle raged on, Angren devised a desperate plan. "We will lure them into a trap," he explained. "We will use the moon's gravitational pull to our advantage." The plan was risky, but it was their only hope. The turning point. The trap was set, and the Senate fleet fell for it. As they were pulled into the moon's gravity, the Alliance launched a counterattack. The Senate ships were caught off guard and destroyed. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. The final assault. A new mission. With the victory at Phoenix, the Alliance gained momentum. "We must press our advantage," Angren said. "We will take the fight to their capital." The mission was clear: to end the Senate's tyranny once and for all. The infiltration. Olaf led a team to infiltrate the Senate's capital. "We will strike from within," he explained. "We will take out their leadership." The team moved stealthily through the city, avoiding detection. The Senate chambers. They reached the Senate chambers, where the leaders were gathered. "This ends now," Olaf declared, storming into the room. The battle was fierce, but the element of surprise was on their side. The Senate leaders were captured. The people's revolt. With the Senate's leadership taken down, the people of the capital rose up. "The tyranny is over," they chanted. The revolt spread throughout the city, and the Senate's control crumbled. The final battle. As the capital fell, the remaining Senate forces launched a final assault. "We will not go down without a fight," their commander declared. The battle was fierce, but the Alliance was determined. They fought with everything they had, knowing this was the endgame. Victory. The Alliance emerged victorious. The Senate's forces were defeated, and peace was restored to the galaxy. "We did it," Olaf said, standing among the ruins. "We have won." The people celebrated their newfound freedom, and the galaxy was united once more. A new era. With the Senate's tyranny ended, a new era began. The Alliance worked to rebuild the galaxy, fostering peace and cooperation among the species. "This is just the beginning," Angren said. "Together, we will create a brighter future." The legacy. Olaf and Angren were hailed as heroes. Their bravery and leadership had brought about a new era of peace. "We will always remember their sacrifice," the people said. Their legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to fight for what is right. The endless story. The story of the Alliance's victory was told and retold, becoming a legend. And so, the galaxy was saved, the storytellers concluded. The never-ending storymaker continued to inspire creativity and imagination, allowing the story to live on forever.